So my name is Jitin Asnani. I am the Chief Product Officer at Rhapsody. Rhapsody is a digital health enablement company. We're enabling adoption of digital health across the industry. Our customers are in traditional provider-based healthcare. So think about acute hospitals, ambulatory clinics, radiology clinics, labs, and so on, as well as digital customers and health tech companies. So think about the device manufacturers, the value-based care companies, and the like.
Yeah.
And of course, not to leave out, a huge part of our base is also the public health organization. So HIEs here in the U.S. and abroad, as well as state agencies and governments. So we're a very international company.
Yeah.
Directly and indirectly, we're in more than 60 countries, 1,700 customers.
Wow.
All over the world.
Yeah.
And so we're enabling them all to embrace the digital health world that we're living in now and actually be able to transform healthcare.
Yeah, amazing. Well, look, going to be some great perspective there and covering a wide breadth of activities within healthcare here in the US and abroad, as you say.
Yeah.
In terms of like what people might see of Rhapsody then, you know, like how do you do that, I guess? The enablement of digital care can be quite a nebulous concept at times. Help people understand like the things they might see from Rhapsody.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. It takes a village. It takes a village to make digital care really work. So our large contribution to that effort is we enable the data to be exchanged, the health data to be exchanged between entities, and for that data to be made more usable, more higher quality, and ultimately be able to feed into the digital health programs, the traditional health programs, the AI models, and the like that these organizations need in order to pursue the programs they're pursuing.
Yeah, and so you know this concept of interoperability is a huge topic here at HIMSS, but you know in Australia and probably anywhere in the world too, because we know that you know in order for a patient to receive quality care, and you need to be able to have their information through the different layers of the care continuum and all of that. This interoperability piece, the role that you're playing in that bigger picture, you know, there's that vision that everyone's kind of got of more accessible data. The role that you play in that, tell me more about that in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, organizations, these various types of stakeholders I mentioned, the digital health, the health tech, the provider organizations, public health organizations, they utilize our software and solutions in order to build those connections in the first place, and then to manage those connections over time to make the most of that data that they're then able to exchange. So they're utilizing it. We are not a data provider. We're a software and software solution provider. We will provide the software and meet the customer where they are. So, you know, some customers really want to be able to take software, put it in their own cloud or in their own infrastructure. Less and less on-prem, but it's very much still the case around the world. And some want to put it in the public cloud. Some don't want to put it in their cloud at all. They want us to host it. And some won't even take a step further and actually say, hey, you know what? We don't want to be in the business, or we don't want to only be in the business of building connections. You guys are the experts. You've been doing it for a while. Can you do the building of interfaces for us? Interfaces, APIs, these are very much like part of our blood. So sometimes we actually do that work for the providers. So we meet them really wherever they are, whoever these technology and provider companies are. We'll meet them and help them to get those interfaces, APIs, and so on built so that they can enable the business outcome they're looking for.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I think that, you know, that's what healthcare needs to be able to solve problems. Like all healthcare systems have similar challenges, but they're all unique and in your words, you know, that need to be met where they are. In order to do that in a scalable, consistent way, though, that can turn into a mess pretty quickly if it's not done in a way that's, you know, truly scalable. I'd love to understand a little bit more about your approach to doing that at a, you know, international or a global scale, but being able to be hyper-focused on
you know, I think this is the first podcast I've been in, and I've been in a few where somebody has asked that question, and it is a great question. Because if you are going to be...
Welcome to Talking Health.
Yeah, seriously, like this guy knows what he's doing, man. I appreciate it. You're right. If you are serving such a broad range of infrastructure, circumstances, approaches towards healthcare all across the globe, what you can quickly have is really a services company.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or a bunch of very bespoke software that's bespoke one place or the other. It's a real challenge. We actually face that challenge head on. We are very much a standardized software company in that sense. We create standardized solutions. We build on them. We then provide the configurability, the ability for clients and for partners at times where there's a massive amount of customization needed to be able to get in there and really make the software jive for customers. We have a lot of that internal capability ourselves. So, like any software company of reasonable size, we have a professional service team, et cetera, right?
Sure.
But for the but we are we're a product first company in that sense. So we don't have spaghetti of different types of installations which are all bespoke everywhere. No, it's a really important concept because it's if you want to be scalable and if you want to be able to actually pull in the innovations, not just the ones you see right now, the ones which are coming 5 years from now, which we won't see, and the ones 10 years from now, which are going to change your trajectory altogether, you can't start on something completely fragmented everywhere, no matter what it takes for you to build or how easy it is to customize, right? You need to start with standards, and that's where we go with.
Yeah, absolutely. Like building on quicksand never, results in anything favorable. And I guess thinking about what some of those innovations are, I'd love to hear from you on like what either you're seeing out in the market in terms of what health systems want in terms of innovation, or where you're really leaning into that all of this good infrastructure and capability will then enable.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think there are two things there. If I had to think of a key theme in terms of the infrastructure that is solid enough and sustainable enough to last for the longer term, it's, we have leaned very heavily into APIs, right? And once upon a time, the world was entirely dominated by HL7. For the most part, it really is still. But we're clearly moving to the world of APIs, and we're enabling that. We have enabled that across all of our products. We're enabling that for our customers. What's really interesting is, as a key service component a key component provider for our customers, when we modernize, they modernize. If you think about it, that's a huge deal for organizations everywhere, knowing that one of your core infrastructure providers is modernizing. It really allows them to embrace what comes next. And then on the outside, well, what are they innovating on? Well, sure, they need the APIs for the data to move. We're getting them there. But they're trying to innovate on all sorts of models. And I'd say, it's topical right now, AI, right? And AI of a variety of different sorts. So we're imbuing our products with AI. Our identity solution is the first and only AI-driven identity solution on the market. We are utilizing AI across our products, but we're also enabling our customers to take better advantage of the data that's flowing and that they can now make flow in order to drive their AI models and partnerships that they want to engage in so that they can actually get all the benefits of productivity and value and the ability to provide customized care. There's so many wonderful downstream benefits. But it starts with, hey, can you help me to actually get the right inputs so I can drive those outcomes? That's where we're helping.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like that concept of as your platform grows and increases in capability, the rising tide lifts all boats type analogy. I think that makes a lot of sense with different healthcare systems. Lastly, then I guess, what that all then enables, you getting the requests for being able to and have the capability to do more innovative stuff with artificial intelligence and innovative technologies. If you were to think about, if we were to nail all this and get all this right and really enable these health systems with these tools, like, for what purpose? Like, what's the end goal here? What are you hoping that kind of it then allows health systems to be able to do all the problems that they need to solve?
The problem is that I'd say, in some sense, the triple aim that was articulated here in the U.S. was as the triple aim. I'm sure has different articulations all around the world. We see very similar goals all across the world. Now, it's very different just when you start getting tactically from country to country, region to region. But it's how do I actually take care of patients such that they're sick less, right? How do I take care of them in a way that's cost effective for them and for us? How do we take care of them in a way that actually allows us to leverage technology and leverage ourselves to be able to provide more care to more people in a more cost-effective way? And I think as you start putting these pieces together, standardized API-based exchange, the ability to drive AI innovations, which, there's going to be a lot of bump and churn and practice as people get these innovations right. But it's so exciting because as they get it right, we'll be able to create all sorts of wonderful therapies wonderful sort of operational approaches towards patient care that weren't possible just a few years ago.
Yeah.
And so that's what I see repeatedly as a theme. How do we scale? How do we continue scaling given the cost pressures you have in healthcare? How do we get there? And I'd say that in healthcare, as opposed to some other industries, a lot of industries obviously are embracing AI. Makes a ton of sense. But if you look across sort of industries, healthcare feels the most pressure as we sort of globally age. In the U.S., certainly it's an aging population.
Yeah.
And if you're dealing with increasing cost pressure, the ability to actually perform that mass care in a way that is actually very scalable is incredibly important.
Yeah.
And so we're excited to be a part of that solution.
No, it's exciting times indeed. Lastly then, Rhapsody here at HIMSS, is there anything you're announcing, or what are the key conversations you're having with participants here?
I'd say the key announcement we've made is that we have introduced our entirely AI-driven EMPI solution. So it's an identity solution that allows you to match patients that utilizes machine learning neural networks behind it to enable a much more consistent, robust patient matching process. I'm really excited for the ability for this technology to enable a larger variety of different organizations to be able to reliably patient match, where in the past, this has been a very manual activity. And so the scalability that this introduces to organizations of every size is just incredible. The second thing which I'm really excited about is, actually tomorrow I have a lunch and learn with Sophia Genetics. And Sophia Genetics is utilizing Rhapsody as part of a larger scheme to be able to provide personalized care to patients. And what's really exciting about it is they realize that we have this enormous capacity and for both infrastructure for exchange as well as knowledge of how to do exchange. And so they're leveraging a full suite of our products to enable them to be able to exchange with a huge growing universe of participants that they need to connect with in order to provide, enable their mission. So those are the two, at least the two that are on my radar. Certainly our team, we have a nice, great team over here, and they're talking to customers about all of our solutions in terms of integration and enabling API-based exchange and data transformation. And you could see here on the HIMSS floor with all the variety of different companies here, there are a lot of different opportunities to to help people enable their missions.